This is the one that's got the
people.
fold down the tailplane there.
Hi, what's up, people?
Who
How y'all
also
doing today?
Really
Welcome
likes
to
it out here.
2022. Hey man, okay. Here with live. What happening? What's going on with y'all out there? Y'all have a good New Year's. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay clean. I can finally report myself as back to mostly percent health. I don't feel as questionable as I did before this, so hope y'all are feeling about the same here. Jump into this though because we started on this balance of trying to keep these things short, like we promised we would do. We haven't started up the other ones because between the 2 and the 3 and the 5 of us that can get involved, we've been a little bit ill and it's a holiday season. But I promise you, we will get back into this the proper way. But in the meantime, what I do is I rolled this in here. It was funny because I was gonna I literally had a big plan, say for this day. And I was gonna actually have a roll. Like we haven't done a symposium in a long time, and it really doesn't mean much other than the fact that it's kind of like a big show and we get in depth about one particular thing so that people can go and I know we talk about the roles a lot, but I sometimes because people keep revisiting them, I wanted to make sure that people understood exactly what distances, what your distance to expect. And I wasn't going to concentrate on that so much because we get that. I feel we get that. I feel we get that pretty good. What I feel we don't get is what you need and what you don't need. And that's actually what I was really going to touch on. But I want to kind of do that with Mark's assistance. So I'm not going to delve into that this week, even though I listed it up there. Basically because I listed it up there and said what to do, because we're not going to touch on that one. Okay? Apologies. Sorry. Should. Won't. Well, I'll make sure he's in there before that happens. So, such as it is. But you can't expect we'll do something like that in probably next week. And it has, like I said, it has to do with, we touch on the roles, how those roles pertain to why we as members of IVPAC, which of course has a Air Corps, military style, wings, squadrons, units, brigades, so on and so forth, why we do what we do with them, and then why you need or don't need the ones that you're going to have in there. I have no idea why I started this late. Forgive me for that. I shouldn't have started this late, but I started this late, but I got into it. Yeah. And again, most of that, I'm sorry, just make sure though, most of that is, again, just to make sure that you understand that, what we're about when we talk about these roles, because we touch on them a lot. We really do. We revisit them a lot because everybody's always asking about, again, majorly the distances and what do you mean by this and that, and why we have 2 names for them and stuff. And really, we don't have 2 names for them. Most of us are some of us are military brats or have been in the military ourselves. So when we talk about it, we're usually reference the real world version of the roles. And while you do that often, we really actually don't prime example, okay? Control fighter versus air superiority. I'm just gonna give you the example because it's the same thing, okay? Same thing. That's really, it's 2 names, yes, but in real world, it's called air superiority, or nowadays it's called counter air. The F-22 does it, the F-15 does it, so on and so forth. Mirage 2000s do it, Typhoons do it, but a lot of militaries have. I usually like to use the U.S. Air Force or the Russian Air Force, the flanker, because they're big enough to actually have multiple planes, whereas something like Britain, who's only got 1 plane, to do everything. You know what I mean? Because they just pare it down. But anyway, gist of it is though, we just call it by 2 names because of the military people. Military upbringing in us, call it what we know it is, and in the paper airplane world, you can call it that. There's no point to it though, so we just handle it on down to something that more people can understand, which in this case is usually something like control. see, how it's just basic control, So anyway, we'll touch on that when we get this going. I don't need to be too long. I just need to be in depth because I don't want people. I realized it a couple weeks back, talking with Mark about this because we had discussed trainers. And I was like, oh yeah, people may not know. I gotta stop that. So, and you know where we're going with something like that. Okay, but anyway, so it's not happening tonight. Getting into it for a long bit of time for something that's not happening tonight, and I apologize, but not happening tonight. Anywho, today's the 5th of January, 2022. 2022. Man. Kind of an amazing thing when you think about it, isn't it? Yeah. We actually have... Can't believe he's missing this. We actually have anniversaries, including a big one. Mark's big one. We have one from... I'm going to call it this. Maverick Incorporated, believe it or not. Dun dun. Diablo, as of today, actually, tonight, right now, Diablo is a 21-year-old aircraft. It's legal. He's had that in the force probably longer than, actually, that's probably, and that's why I touched on the controls, because it is his controls. There's this little segue there, because it's his control superiority fighter, and always has been for him, and it's 21 years in IVPAC. It's his 3rd design that was accepted into IVPAC, his 4th design overall, if the numbers were to be right, because he really didn't start until then. And right now, it is the oldest one that is active, I believe. Double check this here to make sure, because you have to go back to Mink, you can't go back to there. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, apologies. It's not Vortex. Still beats it, because he still uses Vortex. I always consider Phantom Lightning, but Phantom Lightning actually came after Diablo, and Draco's been retired. So Vortex still beats it, has his oldest one. It just, like I said, it always feels like Diablo is the oldest one, and it's not. So there. Bah. But also, a couple others that passed relatively recently, and others are coming up. Well, a couple others, excuse me, just one. But yesterday was the 10th birthday for Missiles Nebula. That's SIL M Division, but we call it Missile. Nebula, 10 years old. That's a remarkable little plane. Their longest range aircraft. Like I said, 10 years old for that one. If you've seen some pictures of that one did a wonderful job at the fly-in that we had, the big fly-in that we had. Nebula's a really cool aircraft. Probably their crowning achievement up to this point. So, but anyway, like, kind of big for this time, considering how just dead, like, the last couple weeks of December were, but with good reason. You know, again, family, friends, holidays around this time, you're just not, I mean, typically, seriously, if you go back to school, you're not in school anymore either, are you? So, you know, this is usually a pretty quiet time. It's cold, you don't go out, you don't fly much. I mean, it's not cold everywhere, but you know what I'm saying. So, not much to be missed. Yeah, there's that. So, anyway, yeah, pretty good stuff. It's nice to have those planes out there, I think. There's a lot of times that I look back through the anniversaries and see, like, the birthdays of the aircraft and stuff, and notice that, like, these things, like, wow, we haven't had that one, and what the hell happened, you know? I mean, like, seriously, how did we miss it and stuff like that? And I truthfully, I don't know. But, I'd like to bring it up just because it's cool. One of the reasons why we always say, like, date your planes, code your planes, doesn't have to necessarily actually even code the planes per se, but you need to have, like, I think you should at least put the date on them, because it's kind of cool to see that, like, you built the plane, because it's really cool to go back in time later on and say, like, my God, I built that plane that long ago, holy crap, how do I still have this piece of crap? Or not, you know, but, it all depends. I mean, like, yeah, I would almost say that, like, when coding, and we could talk about this, when coding, dates, I think you should put a date on everything, okay? But when you're coding,
it's like, if as a member of IVPAC, we kind of like, we highly recommend it almost to the point of we mandate it.
Don't really say that because, I mean, it's like, it's kind of up to you. But when we come to these points when we're in, say, like fly-ins, or meetups or anything like that, okay, I get it because, like, a POW aircraft, for example, he'll probably have it tapered. He'll probably have it tapered with something that makes it exclusive and perfectly understandable. So his will be easily identified. However, for example, if you go by the flying that we used in the past, the rest of us won't. So you fly something pretty high, you're going to have to go by really just, acknowledgement of its design when you see it flying at most. And then you got to figure out, like, for the benefit of yourself, like if you take the picture, you take the video you're going to know because you walk back and forth to the plane and include it in the video. But if you take the picture, you get a still shot and you look at it and you're like, damn, what plane was that? This is where you fall into the point where I was thinking, like, you should have numbers on them. You have codes. It doesn't necessarily have to have code. That could be entirely up to you. I just think you should number it. We always think you should number it. And we were talking, what I was getting at was, you don't really have to code if you think it's going to be a crappy plane versus like a good plane. Because I can acknowledge the fact that everybody might think it's like you're taking the fun out of flying if you're just going to like spend time like writing on it and shit like that. But we're not writing a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Abby, Robert, hey, how y'all doing? Jump right in there. Hey, man, what's going on, man? How y'all doing? Still at work now? Yeah, it probably always feels like it, doesn't it? Yeah, we're here. I know I started late. I meant to actually start like a half hour ago. My apologies. We're just going to make this one short, though, again, because, like I said, we're trying to shorten these up. Yeah, really, we are. And we've been doing a pretty good job. But that's mostly because of the holidays and the illness. And, yeah, I'm COVID-free now, so. But I couldn't say that for the month of December. Anyway, so, the coding that we talk about, like I said, at least put a date on it, because it's really cool if you manage to keep a plane long enough to say, like, my God, I've had that plane 5, 10, 15 years. That's amazing. So we highly recommend, especially if you're at IVPAC, code the planes. The numbers, not so much, but then again, that's up to you. I mean, if you do enough that you think you could, like, build a type of plane, like, say, a Javelin, for example, or a Phase, for example, I'm going to use mine because I'm here. But, like, if you're only going to build, like, 10 or so, and you're going to taper them, well, then it really doesn't matter. You can tell them apart. Especially if you date them. That's the one thing you won't know how old they are. But. If you build 500 of them, and you see one in a picture, and you're like, God damn it, which one was that? It's nice to have writing that's, like, that big. Even though, well, the code's on the other side. Code's on this side. Whoa, can't see it. There you go. Number 606. But see, that's what I mean. I know that's number 606. So if she flies good, I know, like, in the picture's like, yeah, that one flies good. Which also is, like, if you believe in the PALACE that we do, the Paper Aircraft Long-Term Active Storage. That's what the abbreviation is for. We call it the PALACE. I call it the PALACE. And that's the abbreviation for it. That's the acronym I use. I keep all the ones that flew good in there. I mean, don't get me, like I said, I mean, like, I always talk a good game, and I mean, if you watch my factory, you know I've got a lot of planes. I always keep a lot of planes on hand. I've pared them down, and I've pared them down from before. I mean, I've been down, there was a point when I was down to, like, 40. But I haven't been down to that low a number in, like, 25 years, and then before that, under the 15. There's only been 2 times. After the war, and then after a move. But, again, I don't keep everything. And that's why I keep the numbers on it, because unless you do something unique with every single one that you know you can tell them apart, especially if it's, again, the same kind. If it was like, if I built 500 phases, 117 might have flown like absolute ass. I could burn it. I could throw it away. I could do whatever the hell I want. I can get rid of it. But if 172, and in this case that's true, 172 was freaking awesome, I'm not willing to part with it so easily, especially an outside chance that I could get it to do that again. So it goes into the PALACE. And again, that's why I keep track, because I want to know. I personally want to know these things. And I'd like to think that in y'all's case, you'd want to know that too. Plus, I mean, like, it's like origami. It's like anything else. It's like art. This is
art. This is a hobby. You made this. You made it to the best of your ability, to the best it could be. If you've seen the way some of the other characters that actually, anybody else, build their planes, it probably isn't so easy to just literally toss them, burn them, whatever. It's like, it sucks. Like, literally, whatever everybody puts into them, you can't just, like, toss that out. Why would you do that? So, I mean, even, like I said, a good plane. I'm not saying every plane. I'm just talking about a good plane. Like, you're talking about some that are, like, interstellar quality, and I mean, like, it's up to you where you draw that line. But I mean, like, it also could be a matter of, like, well, there's some that are superb, there's some that are just great, there are some that are, who cares, and then there are some that are, oh my god, and then there's some that are crap, and you could just say, like, everything from here on down gets scrapped.
I only keep these.
Which basically is what I do. But again, it all depends on you. If you only carried, like, 40 planes and try to stay at 40 planes, you know, no matter where you go, what you do, what time it is, you know, like 3 months from now, you'll still have 40 because you've got 40 now, but you destroyed 10. You just rebuild 10 on the way. You know what I mean? You maintain a status. If you only got 40, this is a sizable chunk. You know, so I've got like 200 plus. So even if I did this, I've still got about, like, 30 or 40 of my own just sitting in the pocket ready to go. And you also, I've got way more than that. But then again, I'm like, trying to weed through and fly and disfly and stuff like that. But anyway, that's what I was talking about. I said before, I should have put it down those topics. Coding. You should code. I'd really like you guys to, fin code. But you don't have to. Well, okay, excuse me. IVPAC members should fin code. That is almost a mandate. I'm, like, close to putting it that way. It's like, dude, you need a place where your bases are so we know which planes you are. Because, again, that has to do with flight. And we are a military status. So, like, we have a military structure, rather, status. What the hell am I saying? Structure. So, you need the fucking fin code so we know what base they belong to. I mean, again, for me, that's part of the coolness of it. Doesn't take long, especially for those of y'all that only got 1, 2, 4 bases. I mean, I'm excited about it, and I've got 20. So I gotta weed through all these puppies and make sure they have appropriate fin codes. But I got a sheet for that. Those of you with 2, 3, 1, you got no excuse. Y'all should be putting fin codes on it every damn time. You put a date on it, and you flip it over, and you put like a big giant B on it because you're at whatever base. That's all I'm saying. God, it ain't hard. Doesn't take long. You folded it. You can put that on you. And some of y'all can put it on there after it's done. You don't even have to wait like we do. So, no, I have not. God, Bobby, where'd you come up with that one? I haven't had that in a long damn time. Yeah, I haven't put up our status yet. I should do that, shouldn't I? I'm sorry. That'd be a good one. I just put up Burst you saw last week. I should do the next step. Yeah, you know what? I gotta find the next step. I ain't even kidding. I don't know where our stay is. Looking back here, I think they must be in hanging box. Let me see here. Hell, we could do it tonight. Where the hell is our stay? Wow, dude, Abby, coming out of left field. I'm gonna be embarrassed. That's a joke. That's a joke. I can identify. I just don't remember where I have one. I know that little thing was hot. I remember this little thing, thinking like, man, this could be the shit. That plane is pretty damn cool. This guy ain't got no name. It's a one-off. Built out of nothing, for nothing, by nothing. She hot. Good plane. But what isn't understand? Yeah, you know what, Bobby? What the hell? Dude, you really caught me out of left field with that shit. I will I'm looking right now. I'm trying to see, like, that'd be good. Since you, and it seems, you know, it's a logical step. You know now, you guys, if you followed along last week, you know how to build a burst. And our STEA is the next step. At least that was my intention with STEA. I'll look at nowhere. I think those are all nowhere. Those are all nowhere. I must have our STEA in that box. Because those are bursts. And it's relatively obvious when you're looking at it. Boy, you really, now you got me all quiet because now you got me on a hunt. I'm literally hunting through all these damn boxes like, hey, who's gonna put in our STEA? But I agree with you though. That's a great idea for the next tutorial. Because if you guys are helping me with the burst aircraft, you can help me with the one that takes it a step farther. And I know, talking about Venom, but I haven't really weeded through the... Is that it? Oh, those are the W bodies. I haven't weeded through the Venoms yet to figure out which Venom, like, I want to take apart for the show. So I haven't got touched on that yet. This is weird. You know what? That has me curious, Avi. I don't know if... I really, honestly, don't know. I think he does, but I'm not sure. I wonder if our boy KIA knows how to build an SA-52 anymore. Yeah, I guarantee you he hasn't done it in so freaking long. He'd be like, I'm going to have to get back in with you on that one, Chuck. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, he hasn't... Man... He's been, like, his models, like, he's played with, he has done so much work with Sabretooth and, like, our cargo truck, like, finding out what like, his cargo planes are going to be and stuff, that, man, I think the SNA-52's got, like, no love, wow. Sabretooth's got all of it. But, yeah, I know, but again, remember what we talked about, though. First of all, Exile, this goes back to the coding. Exile is the plane. 16 was the number. That was number 16 of his Exiles. And, first of all, like, God damn it, now I'm trying to remember here. I do this every time. You guys should follow along with me and say, like, you stupid, because I'm stupid. We got to go to the pics. We go to the pics here, John. Are they in here? They're in here. Exile is a phase 2. It's like my latest in his version of a export. Excuse me. So again, that's the phase 2. And so I've given you a phase 2 tutorial, so you know how to build phase 2s, which means you know how to build Exile. 16 does have the little tech we were talking about, and I don't remember for the life of me exactly what show it was. Actually, I kind of do, because it was last spring. If you go back to our April or May show, weekly show, we build a phase 2, so you know how to do it. And, or rather, I'm sorry, we put the little tech in the back of the tails, because I show Mark that. He's got it on one of his current Ekron, I want to say Ekrons. I think he's got it on Ekron. So it's also there. Yeah, just pointing that out because that means you know how to build a phase 2 and it just requires a little tech. I mean, I can, dude, if you build a phase 2, I know, I mean, I don't want to, see, I can show you that, but I don't want to show you that on something that's like, how about a Sears? Here, wait, here, let me show you. Okay, you want to know about XL16? Okay, again, it's phase 2. Oh my god, I don't even have to build it in. I've got one. Alright, so it's phase 2. Exported for KIA. So he doesn't kind of like use it as a plane. He uses his own. It's just like he was playing with it. Sometimes I export it, like you guys to use them temporarily till you get your own. Sometimes I export so that you have like a startup and you add some tech, okay? But anyway, this right here, this is the tech that 16 uses. So this is a standard Cirrus, but it has that tech. Now the only little difference that this has versus what his had was I cut this little triangle piece out of the tail. He didn't do that. And the tech talk, I was gonna exciting. I was gonna go ahead and throw a tech talk in this week, just because something to do, because we couldn't do the symposium. Instead of the one I was gonna plan, I was gonna do this. It's like this is basically a version of DFRW, the dual fins from rear wings. Okay, they're not exactly fins when they're this small. They're kind of like strakes, but you can call them that. So the DFRWs are what makes 16. Exile 16, really good. And all you do to make those is like, you know how to build Cirrus. So that's why I use this plane as an example when I found this one, okay? So you build a Cirrus, and the only thing you do when you cut those is like, basically when you, I'm gonna actually fold this one back up, okay? So you got it folded. This is the point where you're about to give it the wings and stuff like that. All right, now I've given this one a rudder slant, but you just take, like all you do in the trailing edge of the wing, like I said, back here, you just take, you cut that little piece in straight, and you do not cut it very far, 2 centimeters, because you're not going to make it very big. And then all you do is, like, seriously, however short you cut it in there, then just cut an angle, or in a case like 16 didn't even do that. He cut it straight down, but I like to make them like fins, so I cut it at an angle. But dealer's choice. Just cut that after you make that first cut from the back, the trailing edge. Just cut it in and make it reach where your wings go. And literally, that's it. That's all you have to do. And trust me, actually, if you've made Cirrus, I've seen you make Cirrus because you had some test flights and they look pretty good. Okay, so you've got a good working Cirrus. Fuck. When you put them on, you can put them on a Cirrus and an improved Cirrus. So, and like, ironically, as far as I know, because like this one has flown and a couple of others have flown. See, and by the way, fin codes, people, HR, fin codes. See, I know what base this one belongs to. Didn't take much to put them on there. Anyway, just like 16 as well, same thing. They can go up like they are right now. They can also go down. Like, just like different off the plane like that. Or you can actually keep them with the wings. It's a little bit better when they're up or down. And actually, they're usually a little bit better up. But sometimes if you build them free enough, see, the smaller you make them, the more structurally sound and stable they are. So, like, again, when this plane goes with the wind, see, the wings kind of go up and stuff. So if you make these a little bit down, see, the departure makes it a little bit more stable. And I believe that's what happens with 16, because even though it's like basically a phase 2, so the wings are really stiff, the wings still curl up during flight a little bit. So if you put these down or straight, they don't go and follow the wings, which adds a stabilizing agent, which is what makes the plane fly so good. So cutting these into anything, as I said, we call them DFRWs. It's dual fins from rear wings. And normally they're bigger than that, but these are like, you can basically say these are DSRWs, dual strakes from rear wings, but you just put them in there. And again, I would give you a better than 9 out of 10 ratio that the plane you put these on is going to fly better with them than without them. And they're easy to take out. I mean, like, well, okay, they're not necessarily easy to get rid of. You put them in there, especially if you do it like this, like me, where you cut out the little triangle. But if you just if you leave that triangle in and you just cut these out, you can just apply a piece of tape and put them back in there so they're level with the wings. I mean, all you really would have to do is, like, you know, it's a small piece of tape. You just put that size piece of tape in the nose to counterbalance the weight. A little tricky. It's really tricky when you make the cut. But I'm willing to bet you probably, when you get to this stage, if you get this on any plane, you're not going to want to take them out. They usually work really well. And DFRWs, that's a pretty big technology with us. Well, with me especially, because
DFRWs are what make a phase 4, for example. That's a phase 4. They kind of make a phase 6. Like this one right here, for example. This is phase 4, number 511. She has this, and actually, if you know, you remember our video, our feature video, our presentation video, the greatest planes, the greatest flyers, greatest builders. This is the plane from that video. This is 511. She's got, it's a phase 4, but she has, what, ironically enough, the tech that I was going to talk about until you wanted to know about 16. She has split tips on the fins. And if you actually notice too, the fins, the DFRWs, are compound. There are actually 2 different angles on them because I wanted to test out the thing. And she obviously flies remarkably well. This plane flies really good. And if you were intelligent about that, and I don't mean to call you stupid, and I'm not calling you stupid, but if you're intelligent about that, you basically just figured out how to build a phase 4. Because that's the only thing that's different in a phase 4 versus like a 2 is it has these. I consider it that because it's not something you could easily take out. Like if I tape these, I'm really going to screw with the weight of the plane, and I'm not going to get the exact same plane anymore. So I could probably play with it and get it there. It's a very delicate weight balance in the micrograms, I'm sure, and I can't figure that crap out, at least milligrams. So yeah, this plane rocks. You saw that flight. It's because of the same thing that this has, and it's because of the same thing that Exile 16 has. So if you put these in any plane, I can almost guarantee you're going to get a better plane out of it than you would without them. I said this one's a little bit more deluxe, but this is a good example of how far you can go, or like just a good example of the variations you can have with DFRWs. Like this is a simple, small, single one with cut triangles. 16, they're straight, so they're just right into the wing. You don't see this little missing notch. And a phase 4 has them. It's crucial. They're about like, would you say that about 1/6 of the wing space? Seriously, that's about 1/6 of the wing area, or maybe 1/8 of the wing area. Okay, but affected by that. And then this one, because like a Cirrus only has single paper back there behind the wing pockets, but phases are double papered all the way to the trailing edge. This one, because there's 2 papers back there, has got split tips on those, so there's extra stability in there. That's why that plane rocks. So again, if you look at that, you see that that's just one of the ways you can go with having these DFRWs on your plane. And like build them, explore. My God, build a fleet of them. You could build a fleet of Cirrus. You could build a fleet of phase 2s, and you could put DFRWs in there, and then you can go from like this small and just keep making them, a centimeter bigger, or something like a millimeter bigger. Let's go with 1.5 millimeters. A centimeter is probably going to be almost unnoticeable. But like I said, just keep making them bigger. You can make them all the way out to here if you want. I don't recommend it, but you could. This is about my limit actually, is right, see where these are? This is about where it stops. I'd like to have a little bit of a trailing edge there. In the case of a phase, if you were to take it all the way out or just take these out, they don't like that very much. I have done that. It doesn't really work. They don't like it. Maybe you can build a plane that does, but they don't like it. So I leave that there. This is about as big as they get. Actually, that's pretty much their standard size. I don't like making them smaller on phase 4s either. As a matter of fact, the difference in size is what makes it a phase 4. If they were this big on this plane, that would be a phase 3. It's when they get to about as big as what they would be if it was out here. If it was like in this, then I would start calling like, okay, now it's a fin. This is a strake. That's a fin. Now it's a phase 4. I hope he does. I have been talking with him, and like he has been like, yeah, he needs to get on the show again, and he's got a couple of ideas for his own show to get started. So I'm gonna pester him again about it, and hopefully he's listening in so he knows, like, hey, get that damn show up there and get us some exciting new birds out there. I mean, like, even if you put Sabertooth out there, I'm pretty sure people are gonna enjoy that. But if you could build us an A52, can you get all that? You need a wide angle lens.
But again, his bird. So I mean, yeah, I could build it, but he's got to show you the ins and outs. So he's got to show you what he did. That. So hey, there's the tech talk. I mean, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. We'll go a little bit deluxe on it because I did double exclamation point it. Okay, I will show you the secret here. I'm sorry to make that sound stupid. It's no freaking secret. Okay, but I will show you because this was actually what I was going to say was the segue was I was originally going to do folded and split anhedral tips. Two different types of technologies, FAT and SAT, and I call them that because, of course, you know me and Ben were talking about these winglets, and I call them anhedrals and whatever. They're winglets. They are. I acknowledge that, but I'm still going to call them anhedrals because I'm a goofball. Anyway, so in the case of any plane that you have that has anhedrals or winglets, the kicker is like it works on anything. In this one's case, it works on the Phase 4. It works on the DFRWs. So what you did, you can't really split everybody's. Okay, we'll start with the folded, and the folded literally is this. All right. So to fold your anhedral tips or whatever it is that you have, your tips, you're literally folding those tips. There's, oh man, maybe I could show you this without actually not showing you this. Do I have it available? Or did I like destroy it because it was too stupid for words? And I think I did actually, because I have one. I showed it a long time ago. One of our early shows. I have a Phase multi that has like a lot of tech on it. I mean, a lot of tech. I put a bunch of tech on that bird. It had canards. It had serrated tips. It had fat. It had spoilers. It had ailerons. It had flaps. It had the whole 9 yards, and it had so much on it, of course, that it probably was a little contradictory. But anyway, folding the tips. That's what I mean by here. By the way, I found another one too. That's 614. That's another one that has DFRWs, and you'll notice again different design, shape, and the RWs that are at the tail end of the bird. They're more kite-like. But again, whatever works. Your whole point is like once you build a plane, figure out what that plane likes back there, and don't. If you have these, of course, you're welcome to like change their size. You know, like if you start out with small ones, you could obviously make them progressively bigger, but it's hard to make them this big and then get back down to here. Unless you tape it a bunch and then you're screwing with the weight balance of the bird. But anyway, yeah, you definitely should play with this because it's an easy install, and most planes really do benefit from it. They really do like it. So, I highly recommend doing DFRWs. And anyway, getting back to the anhedral tips, though, I call it folding the anhedral tips, but again, it's basically any tip that you have there. I just think it's a different check when you do it on the anhedrals because it really does change something. You really have a additional, like, it's almost like our Pisces, and that'll be another tech talk, but it's almost like having something else in there because when you fold these over, I can't do it to this plane. But, okay, illustrate it. You have this right here. That's your anhedral, what I call the anhedrals. It's not an anhedral, but it's why I call it anhedrals. If you build a big enough one, if you do a winglet, I don't think it'll work. But if you do something big like I do here where it's like sizable, just take the edge, and I mean, we're talking like maybe a millimeter, and fold it in. It's always crucial that it goes in, towards the wing, towards the fuselage. Fold it at 90 degrees to the anhedral. Always at 90 degrees. It doesn't seem to like it any other way. Maybe they droop a little bit, okay? But literally that's it, and you're done. That's the folded anhedral tip. And again, when you test it out, you'd be surprised how well that actually works. I don't suggest you put like this and this and this on there. You always should try to step your technology and figure out what's going to work. So you should like you can't put like 5 or 6 on. Like I said, the technology demonstrator I got the Phase M just as a bad idea. But like, once you figure out if it does work, and you build like 5 planes and they all work with like something like this, then you can put that on there and say like, well, let's see if they work with this. Because once you figure out they don't, and once you figure out they do, you can keep building on that note. Anyway. SNA-52 is not really a phase. That thing's... I don't know if you remember this, but like about a year ago, NASA's had actually mentioned that on our sheet, the definition sheet, the aircraft sheet that we have, we should put like the starting sheet size on it. I agreed. That's a hell of a good idea. As a matter of fact, on my aircraft sheet, that has been done. It makes all the difference. And it's not just a matter of upsizing a single sheet, like equal ratio, like if you were to like the American size or an A4 sheet or any of the A series that the rest of you guys use in the world, you know, A1 to A12. I can't remember how you go, but basically it's like taking a sheet and like and it always works out in ratios. It makes sense. Why America does stupid crap, nobody knows. But anyway, but if you have an 8 by 10 and you equal ratio it on up to like, you know, 10 by 12 when it gets bigger, you're just enlarging the same plane. If you use the same folds on the same size sheet, only bigger, right? That makes sense. SNA-52 does not use a scaled up size sheet from a phase, nor does it use the same folds. Comes out looking like that, but that's not where we're in there. Stop it, you ass. Oh my God, stop. You suck. Don't you do it. Don't you freaking do it. Hey, that's good. You look like crap. How about that? Man, I know. Yeah, so, he's just fitting right in with the rest of the freaking crowd. What the hell's wrong with you anyway? Anyway, you gonna be alright? Okay. So, but, okay, folded tip. The split tip, same damn thing. But the split tip you can only do with 2 paper. Like this. You're only going to get that split if you have another sheet to go up and down. And that's basically it. If you fold it, you're just folding it. If you split it, you're going up and down, and that makes the difference. So again, you're not going to be able to achieve that unless you got 2 sheets to use. Diablo couldn't do it. Phase can do it. You didn't hear me. Diablo, dude, 22 years, man. Today. Or 21 years, excuse me. 21 years. Just thought you should know. How do you know SMA flies good anyway, Abby? Did he show you? Did he get a video out there and I missed it? I'm really going to have to smack a bitch up, ain't I? Yeah. I just might have to smack a bitch up. Anyway, yeah, so DFRWs, people. I've actually played with different acronyms for that. And, like, I like to, obviously, like, you know, the military, we like to get the alliterations, you know, in such a cutesy way that the word means something and it sounds like something when you combine it. But, well, that's because it's heavy and it's usually typically built out of poster paper. I mean, like, you've seen, SNA-52 is, like, typically his big bird. Sabretooth has been upsized, but he usually builds that out of poster paper. And I mean poster paper, so it's like this big cardstock. We're talking huge, bro. So, yeah. But, he's gonna be nose heavy. But I can't get DFRW. I can't figure out a way to rear wing, twin fin, rear wing. Believe me, when I came out with the tech, I had a sheet of paper with all these acronyms written down on it. The best way, I was like, screw it. You know, everything doesn't always have to have a cutesy name, so it is what it is. If you can come up with a better one, please let me know. In the 30 years I've actually had the tech, you can change it. And yeah, it really is. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at. Arstea, huh? Okay. Try to find Arstea. You send it, like, I'll push KIA. KIA, you're listening to this. Either live or you'll be listening to this. Come on, buddy. Get your channel active. I'll help you out. Let's do this. If we get back on the show, it would be great, but hell, I'll have a show with you on Saturday if you want, but let's get on the show. Let's do something. And let's get your channel running. So, like, yeah, like, bro, can get some SNA 52 action and see what you did that made XL16 so remarkable. Which, I mean, again, I can tell him. I mean, I basically told him. But, Albie, do that. Put some DFR, put some little fins on the back of, even try it with Cirrus. It is an amazing little piece of tech, and you won't be disappointed. I mean, even that I said, even this little thing right here, stooped up, stooped down, stepped up, rather, I meant to say, but like, because you got this to play with. It's like, when you fly Cirrus and you put it on board, you can put them up here, you can put them straight up, you can put them down. You got a lot to play with, and that's just one size. After you master that, then you'd be like, okay, well, let me make them this big, and then see where we can go. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you want them like XL16, number 16, you do this. But believe me, you got with DFRWs, there's a lot to play with. You might learn something. Everybody's going to learn something that somebody else doesn't know. So, I hope you learn something that I don't know, and tell me. Dark blue skins. Like, straight up all dark blue. Universal dark blue. I saw, dude, you know, when you did, Robert, when you did your show on your new place with I like the way, I saw, like, where you were storing the tape, you know, in that bin, like, all the extras that you had backup for. Like, dude, I was like, man, you got some tape. I like, damn. And I kind of wanted it, like, you got to get involved on the show, too, because, like, I want you to, like, we got to do a show dedicated to tape, because now that I've discovered how many, like, 332, my new bird, and Diamant, especially, like how much tape gets added to them. I don't think I mean, I'll do it on the sake of your creation. I may taper them, but I'm going to tell you something. Maybe I'll teach you how to build one, too, so you can taper it right. But I may be tempted to taper those just to see, because it's amazing how much tape both of them like. They're the most tape-friendly planes I think I've ever built. You keep applying tape to new areas, and they just get better. It's a genuine surprise for me. It's like, wow, how the hell do they like tape that much? Like OAE planes, you know? But, I mean, and it's crucial to them. It's crucial to theirs, so. God, how do you get so much tape, dude? Well, it'd be killing me, too, if you had to work 60 hours a week because you're working 12 days, 12-hour shifts. My God, dude. Find something that doesn't kill you, bro. Come on, man. We need you back, man. Damn. You need to get back. You need to get back for your sanity. Get back to the land of living. You know what I mean? All right, I know. So, I mean, like, that's not, dude, that's not even living, man. When that's all you have to do, how is it living? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm not, like, saying that to you like you're a dumbass. I'm saying that, like, for anybody, you know? How is that living? Life was not meant for you to do some shit like that, dude. How can you just shove stacks of cash at these fat white creosote dogs out there, and like us, we gotta work the 12 hours just to get like our happy-go-lucky $250 paycheck at the end of a fucking week? It's crap, man. Like, yeah, I mean, what good is pay like that if you're not gonna be awake or, you know, not working to enjoy it? You can order shit, but then you'll be like, I'll be asleep when it comes in. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you gotta draw a line somewhere. You gotta tell some people, fuck it, you're not getting some shit out of me. It's like squeezing blood from a turnip. It's just not gonna happen. Like, I need to live my life. I need to, you know, like, not do this so I don't burn out and die in the next decade. Whatever. I mean, like, you know, it's like, it just sounds, don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel for you. I've done this too. I have done this too. There was a point in my life, and I'm not proud of it, but I worked 3 jobs. Same time. No joke. I look back on that period of my life, and I don't know how I did it, but it was hardly any different than you, and it's the part of my life that pisses me off about all the rest of these people out here the most right now. It's like, I don't understand how these no good, let's face it, because it really does, like, we don't get anything from them, get thrown money, and in some cases, my fucking money gets thrown at them, and I can't make a living, but these people do. Like, they make 18 livings. They make my living for me and like 20 other people just like me. And I don't get shit. I have to work 3 jobs just to get that. It's a shit, man. I don't. No, I'm not. Just aggravating, man. Aggravating. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Don't bother. Dude, don't bother making the damn wife happy. You make you happy. She can make her own self happy. That's the whole point. If you make you happy, and I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about the human you, the person you. If you make you happy, really shouldn't matter about anybody else now, should it? She shouldn't be dependent on you to make her happy. She should be dependent on her own self to make her happy. She can decide what does that. That's kind of a life lesson for all of you out there, because I'm not trying to single Robert out. I care about people. I care about my members especially, but like, seriously, you do you is a phrase that they like to turn out there now, and that's the whole thing, is like, you're only in it for you. Your own health matters to you. It may matter to a select other people, but you're the one that can control how it goes. So, like I said, they ain't happy. Tough. You're going to have to find another way. I'm sorry, Robert, that is, by the way, that is not meant to be any kind of lecture, because, I mean, I know how you live in. I know, necessity is one thing and stuff like that, and I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know. That's like my rant for the week, because, Mark's not here, so somebody's got to do it, and we're not having a weather channel. We're just going to have one of those. Like, people just stay physically, emotionally, and mentally happy, however it happens. It's like, man, piss on finances for a little while. Like, dude, if all you worry about is money anyway, how the hell are you going to be happy? What's the saying go? Money can't buy you happiness, but it sure can buy you a healthy set of misery. So, I mean, it's true. But whatever, Yeah, like I said, I just don't want to see you, like, fall down that rabbit hole, bro. Like I said, we miss you on the show, and I'm not. It's kind of a selfish reason, but I'm sure as other people miss you with other things, and you miss things too. Then it says, hey, just get back to them. That way, everybody can be happy. Like this blue tape. I'm hoping I can see this blue tape, because, like, because right now it sounds like the other man can see any chance to see any of this blue tape in action is if you sleepwalk or sleep build. You know what I mean? So. I know you won't. Well, if we keep talking to the boys out there, we might be able to make something happen. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I've been, like, doing some back channeling to the others out there. Like, everybody. You know how I said, like, through our channel, you can find links to everything else. Abby, you've seen that. Robert, I know you've seen that, but, like, anybody out there that does paper airplanes, I try to link to them. And I'll try to talk to him. And like I said, I try to talk to him so that, like, we each know each other, and, like, hey, one of these days, we got to make something happen. Just to make it happen, Doesn't have to be for... And I kind of feel like I'm on the outside looking in, because in this country, shit like that sucks. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You get looked on, you get, like, I mean, nobody considers it anything real. You know what I mean? It's just here, it's like, that's fucking childish. But, like, in other places, Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, the Orient in general, I mean, they got fields, and there's multiple dudes out there doing this all the time. They rent out stadiums or whatever. They let them in stadiums, like, yeah, sure, fly inside here, no problem. Like, for real? That's what I mean. It's like, that's what I mean. I feel like we're on the outside looking in, because they get to do this. I wouldn't say daily, but maybe it is daily. I don't know. But they get to do this. We can't do that. they're already doing what I'm suggesting. I mean, like, and I feel like, again, like, what I come to them saying, like, man, we should do a meetup. Like, you kidding me? I'm going to a meetup this weekend with like 14 other guys, and like I've got to pull teeth just to get it to happen with 3. For example, you know, I don't know. I mean, I can get KIA and Missile together right away. So if there's 3 of us, you know, like I just go, we meet up, we'll do a flight. And if there's enough lead-in time, I could possibly get Gent and NASA's along. You know what I mean? But like those guys, like it's a weekly thing. Hell, it could be a daily thing. Coming after work, or maybe they're retired even. Probably, I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. It's like there's if you watched it, you see there's always multiples in the air. There's always multiple people there. Always multiple designs. And I'm sitting here, like you and I are sitting here, and we talk to them about like we should do a meetup, and they're like, "Huh? We do that already." You got school? You finally back in school? Yeah, try to be there, Abby. We'll miss you, man. Now you just lying about that though, because last time you told us you had school, well, you did disappear for a while. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but you said you did at school. So, man, when do you go to school, bro? You got some weird school times, man. Like you go to school for about a month, off 2 months, back to school, off another 2 weeks. Back to school. I mean, what goes on over there? You gotta build some planes, bro. Robert, come on, man. Gotta build some planes with us, man. With us and for you, bro. I mean, like, you showed us around. I still didn't get a chance to see, like, I'm assuming in your bin you had a few planes. I don't know how many you had, so I don't know what your stock is looking like, but it might be time to, like, you know, up the inventory a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. Unless you got yours. And you and I would get together on, like, something whenever you're not asleep or at work or whatever and figure out, like, where your plane's going to be, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get this down so we can get to coding. You know? Coding, bro. Well, I know, but, okay, Monday to Saturday. Yeah, but, like, did you have, like, the New Year's off? Or did you have, like a winter break? Or did you have, like, early December? Like, any time off? Because and like the other question is, how long are you at school? Because I know you're basically on the other side of the world from us, but like I mean, you do only go to school like 8, 9 hours, something like that, right? I assume. I mean, different part of the day for. I mean, like yeah, granted, I'm not gonna like do a show at 6 in the morning. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. What it's morning time for you, right, Abby? Like it's like 8 in the morning right now, or like 10 in the morning, whatever, or something. I don't know. It's in the morning, right? So if I go to the night, if I go to the morning, hell, you'd be asleep. I guess it wouldn't work. Well, actually, if it's not too far in the night, it'd be afternoon. So I mean, it could work. But anyway, all I'm saying is like there's other opportunities. You're just saying if we have a show like right now. So, I remember we're talking other times in the show. So, I'd like to get it so like it's a little comfortable for other people, and I'd like to get it so that there's other shows on this channel that have different featured people. So get KI in here. 8:30 to 2. Okay. But you're like on like you told me where your town was. You're basically we call it Bangladeshi time, right? Eastern India. So that's not what I did. Good God Almighty. Good God. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, fool. What the hell? So it's like, 10:32 in the morning right about now, right? Basically, isn't it? Why the hell would it be 10:17 there and not 10? Like stupid. Yeah, figures. Oh, all of China is on one time. Gee, imagine that! Man, China must think they're like the only... They're kind of like Southern Baptists. They think they're the only people anywhere ever in the world. Anywho. And if Russia doesn't like, okay, one part of Russia that's west of China is at a different time, and the other part of Russia that's at east of Russia is on another time, but none of them are on Chinese time. Well, a little bitty part of it. That's funny. Anyway, works out for them. That's cool. Anyway. So yeah, you're like 10:30, and we're at 10:30. So you're 12 hours. You're exactly 12 hours. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay, so you're 12 hours. Well, that's pretty freaking easy then, isn't it? So when it's 8 in the morning here, it's 8 at night. It's your time. Okay. You really are on the opposite side of the world. So yeah, okay. Again, good to know. But anyway, that lets us know. It's like, so if it's noon here, it's midnight for you. So when we're here into like our regular afternoon when everything's live and kicking and basically I'm at work, you're asleep. So it works out good till I get home at like 5 and you're probably still asleep. You know what I mean? So the show like this is good, but not when you school. So I get it. Okay. Now I know. We're always learning. We try to be learning because I don't want to be an ignorant American. Yeah. I said you are perfect. You are exactly, as far as time zones go, you are exactly opposite of us. I mean, I can't drill a hole into the earth and come up in your town. We're not that close to, opposite sides of the earth. But time zone wise, like it's 10:30 here, it's 10:30 over there. It's just yours is AM minus PM. So yeah. Again, that's good to know because anytime we try to schedule something, we'll know like at your time, like if we do it at 5 p.m. here, well, it's 5 a.m. for you. So chances are you'd probably be asleep. But if we do it at 5 a.m. here, which I'm sorry to say, it's not going to happen, that'd be 5 p.m. for you. Because I ain't getting up. Fuck that. If I get up at 5 a.m., it's because my house is burning down, or I've already been up 4 hours, 5 hours, 15 hours, and I forgot to go to sleep because I'm playing a video game marathon. So, yeah. Well, yeah, 10:04, but if your clock is slow, because like I said, right now my time is showing is 10:35. Actually, my time is showing is 22:35. We recognize a 24-hour clock. Yeah. I see what you're talking about though. So yeah. Oh, you're on regular. Oh, so you're just on Indian time. I didn't notice that. Actually, you're right. I did not notice that. So all of India just does one time, and you're on Indian time, and that shows is 10:05. I got you. Okay. Why in the hell are you 30 minutes off? Hey, another country, I guess they just chose. Okay, I got you. Indian Standard Time. I see. Okay. All right. So you're not exactly 12 hours, but you're close. That's all that matters. It's basically 12 hours for our purposes. So, I don't know if you like guys knew this, but all of Greenland is on one time except for Thule Air Base on the west coast. This is your little piece of knowledge that you may have not known. Thule Air Base on the extreme west coast of Greenland is on Atlantic time, so it's only an hour ahead of our Eastern Standard Time in America. And the extreme east coast, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because, damn. But look it up. The extreme east coast, and I mean the extreme east coast of Greenland, is actually on like some EGT, like European Greenland time or something, so that it's basically the same time or an hour ahead of Iceland, which is also like Britain. So yeah, everybody's got these times. That's amazing. That is amazing. But anyway, yeah, time zones. Time zones are partially so the Earth can keep spinning, but time zones are also just so businesses can stay handy. But anyway, hey, I know. Tall here, taller in Arabia. It's been an hour. It's been a laugh. It's been a hoot. It's been a great show. Guys, thanks for coming out. I'm going to cut this because Like I said, I kind of want to keep this a little bit short. I want to keep the show, our premium show, down to a specific time. This is that time. I thank you all for coming out. I thank you all for taking the time to visit with us. Abby, I seriously appreciate it. Glad you can make it out here. Robert, always good to see you. Take care of yourself, bro. Do not, I cannot say it enough, and you know it. Don't work too hard, man. Okay? Do not grind yourself into like an early grave. The world needs people like you, bro. And the rest of y'all out there, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Okay. Please do. We like having y'all out there. Again, thanks for coming out. Come on out next week. We hope to have this symposium for you. But in the meantime, y'all know what to do.